Do you see it pop up on your end now?
Yeah, I'm logged in.
You already logged in. Okay.
Yep.
How come it's not showing? Tell me what your meeting number is.
I just go to the link and go in, so I'm not sure what that meeting number is.
Oh, I think I may have.
Something's coming in.
There you go. All right, good. Here we go. I guess it just took a second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hang up the phone. Hey. And now you should be unmuted.
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, and I'm getting my speaker turned on. Okay. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it.
No problem.
My dog, my last lesson went a few minutes over because my dog kept eating tissues out of the trash can and sticking them. And I was just like, oh, just stop. So I had to go do an intervention. All right. Let me get your out. Why is this not connecting? Make sure. Selected this. Connect. There we go. That'll be better. Okay, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good.
Oh wait, it's still not going good.
Uh-oh.
No, I know what the problem is. 1 second. We are finally getting much more. I used to do everything on Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
I did video settings. Then I did YouTube live when it was a simpler thing and it was interactive. Okay, let's see. Bound outdoor. There we go. Okay, we should be good. Okay. So now I'm still a little bit on the learning curve with Zoom, but I do like it.
Yeah, it's a good platform.
Yes. How is it going for you? You don't have your screen in front of you today or behind you.
No, I have to use it to block my other window. Otherwise, I'm just getting tons of light right into my face. So.
Yes, that's so perfect. I can see you really, really clearly. So whatever you got going there is good. Okay, so tell me how your practice has been. It's been 3 weeks.
Yep.
Since I've seen you. So tell me.
Yeah, I think I think I'm definitely progressing. It's wonderful, and I actually was out of town last week, but I brought my guitar, and I just felt so confident in my singing that I was actually in the lobby of the hotel and playing and singing, and it was kind of like, just doing it and people coming in and out. But it was really, I noticed that acoustics really matter.
Yes.
And it was like I getting that little reverb, and it just makes my voice sound so much better. I noticed that trying to sing a cappella and just recording that is like.
Okay, hold on. You're 1 second. I want to check my connection here. Oh, it should be good.
Fading in and out.
Could you say what you just said? It's telling me your internet connection is unstable, but now you're perfect. So now say what you were just saying. You said having that little bit of reverb made you sound so much better and you could hear yourself better.
Yeah, and just gave me more confidence in singing in public. So trying to sing a cappella is like, and recording that and listening it back, it's like, ooh, that's harsh. Second, better is having a guitar accompanying, and I feel a lot better with that. And third, if I get the acoustics in a nice setting, oh my God, I just felt so good. And it was like, I can really kind of sing. And, the receptionist at the hotel was going, yeah, thank you for playing. It was so great. So it gave me a lot of confidence with that. And, working through, I guess I'm finding how to manage the break a little bit more, and whether or not I'm still having problems of going, if I'm in chest, if I'm in head, am I in that middle? I'm not quite sure. But I'm finding that if I can obviously stay in one or the other, I'm better, but I'm also finding that I can bridge that and manage that. It really is just one or two notes. And if I know kind of where they're at and what they are, I can manage it a lot easier. So I think a lot of that is happening. I will say that I've been I'm much more conscious of the horizontal, the E's that just break, and also like transitioning from consonants, trying to soften those so I don't break as much. So, those just little techniques help me so much. I've been doing the breathing. I've been doing the, whatever the scales are, the fourths. So I think that has been helping with my range too. So, and giving me a little bit more confidence in where that break is. So yeah, it's been good. I feel very good about it. So, and I've picked out 2 songs that I think we can try to work with, and we'll see what happens with it.
Okay. Hey, I want to say a couple things. Number one is good for you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. That's really good. I'm so proud of you that you went and played in the lobby at the hotel. Like, I just think that's so fun.
Yeah.
That's the kind of casual, encounter that's what you want to feel comfortable doing. So just in general, like, it's not always a hotel lobby, right? It's the beach with friends. It's, you were saying the campfire. Now, the hotel lobbies tend to be either heavily carpeted and draped or very tiled. Which one was that one?
It was more tiled than glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of situation lends itself really well to being able to hear yourself really well.
Yeah.
So there's I was just speaking with the voice student who just left, and we were talking about, why is the shower so great? How is the voice created? Because all the sound is made here, but that's not where the voice is made. The sound's made here, but the voice is made here. It's the resonation factor. So when you amplify the effects of resonation with further resonation outside of your body using tile and glass and other reflective materials, then you have that instant feedback, for one thing. So your brain is much better able to know where I am, where am I? In this world, this universe of sound. Like, I can't hear myself. That's why artists, never work without a monitor on a stage. You can't, because you can't hear yourself. You start yelling, you start over producing, you really damage yourself. So anyways, it's on just a very pure enjoyment level. That's also why when you go into a rotunda, it's like the best, because you have that amazing acoustic action. So I'm happy for you.
I'm very excited about that.
The other thing I wanted to say is you should print up a mug. Okay, maybe I'll print up a mug and send it to you. Permission to manage the laryngeal shift granted.
Yeah.
Because the people who have found their flow, there's nobody who doesn't have a laryngeal shift. Everybody's got one. So it's just that people either don't recognize that they're managing and they're extraordinarily relaxed about it, and so it never really comes up as an issue. Some people, it's more pronounced and they get hung up on it. Right? You're not the only one. It's It's fairly common. I would say probably like 30% of my students are like, I can't get past the break. So just knowing that you have permission to know that you are managing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you practice, the more you sing, the more songs you do, the more you will realize that it's all about the phrasing, where your shift and your range kind of intersects with the phrasing of a song. Right there, you know, okay, I'm going to have to approach it either from the downside or the upside. Am I going to be approaching it from my chest voice? And even people who talk about the mix, it's still a management of that laryngeal shift, because the laryngeal shift still happens. It's but there by the time you get to the point of talking about your mix and all this jazz, you've been practicing for a while and singing for a while. So I love the fact that you are applying what you're learning to songs, because we're not singing to sing exercises. We're singing to sing songs. So, all right, with that all in mind, I would love to hear, just at the beginning here, what are the 2 song ideas that you have?
The one is Miranda Lambert's The House That Built Me.
Okay.
And the second one is Falling Slowly, theme from Once.
Okay, theme from, is that a musical?
It is now. It was a movie 10, 15 years ago.
I don't remember it. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. Do you have them queued up by any chance?
I do.
Okay.
Do you want to hear it, or do you want to hear me sing that?
Let me hear it.
Okay.
Just like part of it.
Yeah.
Skip all the, if there's like a
intro.
Musical intro,
Oh.
Skip any instrumental stuff.
I've got the karaoke version up, so you won't hear the word.
Oh, let me grab it on YouTube. The House That Built Me. Male cover.
Oh, male cover?
I'm just looking it up that way to see.
Yeah. And that's a fun guitar song, so.
Just had to come back one last time. Man, I know me from man. But these handprints on the front steps are mine. And up those stairs, in that little back bedroom, it's where I did my homework and I learned to play guitar. And I bet you didn't know, under that live oak, my favorite dog is buried in the yard. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing.
Is that the highest that it goes right there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
So
I don't know if that's in the original key, because it's in
no,
F.
it's probably not, because she would have it in she might be doing it in C or something like that. Yeah, I think
Originally it's in F.
Okay. Okay. He might be doing it in C.
Yeah.
So it'll have a different, feel. This might be more, what key is it in on the karaoke?
F.
F. So that may or may not work for your voice, because if that's the original key that Miranda sings it in, likely it is not going to be your best key to do it in.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty song, and I'll listen to the rest of it later. I just don't want to take up
Sure.
the whole time to listen to it. So, and now let me pull up Falling Slowly. Let me save this. Watch later. Well, there's a lot of male covers of that song. I guess it's just a good song.
It is a great song. If you hear the lyrics to it, it's incredible. So, and again, it's a great guitar finger picking song. So I'm more of a finger style picker. So I love it.
Yes. Okay. Hold on. YouTube ad.
And again, Falling Slowly is a great finger picking song. So
Yes. That's okay. Okay. Would you want to sing the
he shifts. It's interesting, right? Right here. So I'm not sure on that one. So he actually starts on low C, and then right before the pre-chorus, he shifts to a higher C, and then he hits that falsetto.
Yeah, that's up there. Now, because I was thinking with a duet, you have to find the melody between the two voices, because the first little part, it was the woman was doing the melody line and he was doing some harmony stuff, and then he took the melody, and then he took the melody for the chorus. That's really pretty. Let me put this on. Where's my save? Okay. So probably the easier of the two to figure out will be the other one, the Miranda Lambert.
Sure.
And that one. Now, this does give me the idea to have you practice some octave jumps. Okay, so that's an octave and 3/4 that song covers.
And that's why I said that's kind of a stretch if I want to do it that way. So what I usually do is not sing the lower part. I just stay at I suspect it's the melody and just stay the melody throughout and try to hit that F, which I think I do decently for the time in falsetto. So I just usually stay there.
Oh, was he doing it? Did he do
up though?
So I think I was hearing her. I was hearing her voice do that.
Yeah, it's her. It's actually him doing that.
He's doing this.
Yeah.
That's an A.
Really?
That's not an F. Yeah. That's why I was like octave and 3/4.
Time.
The one thing about it is that was the low. You could tell that was as low as he was going.
Yes, I don't think I want to sing it there. So
Well, what I was gonna,
that would be a stretch.
that you think that start pitch, the C3, is a stretch for you? I think you could go lower. So that was my point. What I was about to say is,
Yeah.
I think you could start lower. He was not going to go any lower than that. But I think you could start even a third lower. I think you have a little lower voice than he does, which would put you at maybe a little more comfortable, your octave. You'd be A to A, if you can.
Yeah.
We can mess around with it. I mean, it'd be fun to play with it, certainly. And we should. Okay, so vocal is G2 to A4 and octave jumps. Okay, so I do have an exercise that we can do that can kind of try to get you. It's not. Yeah, I think it could help. Now, something you can be doing just on your own is to do octave jumps. You could start with slides. Don't try to be big. Don't try to have a big voice. Don't try to have your voice be like all out there and be big. Because when he does his octave jump, it gets big voice. But he uses sharp resonation. Can you hear me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he uses intense resonation. Take this broken ship and point it home. So he's really bringing the tone forward. It's not so much that he's take this. It's not. He's being smart about the way he's resonating it. But I want you, in practicing the octave jumps at the beginning, to just take it super easy. You could start with hums. You could start with oohs. Ooh or ah are the easiest. Ooh is kind of like a really relaxing vowel to try things on. So you could try. Yeah, that was good.
You know what? I forgot my notebook. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Okay, got it.
Excellent. Somewhere. I was redoing all my folders and notes this week, and I can't find my notes on you. But thankfully, I've got them all written in Music Teacher's Helper. But all right, so add that. So on oohs, just doing octave jumps. And he's still in his chest voice, okay, when he does that octave jump. That's why he starts so low at the beginning, so that he can make the octave jump and be in his kind of full voice, his full chest voice.
Right.
And then when he does the he kind of goes into a falsetto.
Right.
It's effective. The woman is using a light head voice and it is a very nice sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so octave jumps and just, going. Do you want to try a couple? Let's start on the A.
Ooh. Do you want me to try to jump or slide it up?
Yeah, you can slide it up to begin with.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, okay. So you are in. You're fully in head voice here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try some. Okay. We're gonna go a little lower.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Ooh, ooh. Oh boy. Ooh.
Good. Try that on ah. Ooh. You have a nice low voice. I wanna go one more down just to kind of stretch. Do it on ah.
Oh boy, that low one.
Okay. Now on that one, that's not quite an octave. Go ahead.
Starting to and that.
Okay. So all right. Okay. No, you're not quite making it all the way down to that. That's a low. That's an F too. So that's pretty down there. So that may be a little too low. But I want you to vocalize to that. So now we're going to go back up to the F sharp. Again. Time. Listen for that low one.
Geez.
Yeah, that was it. Now that might be your key that you do it in. Because what they did for him is they were like, okay, how low can you get? Because they wanted the main part of the song to be in his full range. Like, how low can you go so you can make that octave jump? So for you, it could maybe you start the song in G, on G. And because then when you do your jump, that sounded really good. That's like your kind of sweet area.
And I'm still in my chest voice on that.
Yeah, you're still in your chest voice. It's kind of like your primary relaxed singing space. That would be something to play with. See if you can find a karaoke version in G.
Interesting.
And it might be that they're playing it up here, so you drop your voice down there.
Because I've been trying to essentially sing it in chest and then shift to head and then hit that falsetto, and it's like, oh, that just doesn't feel great. And so I usually just essentially try to keep it in head and then everything in head, and I like it. I mean, it's easier.
Yeah.
But I just forget the octave jump. It's like just keep it in one octave and sing it like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
No, but that's why I brought the song up, is like, ooh, this would be a push to try to do the octave jump, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, mess around with them. Let me give you one more octave exercise, which I don't think I've given you, but like I said, I don't have my notes in front of me. Nia, okay. Do you have Nia on your list? I don't think I've given it to you.
Mia, no.
Knee, like N-E-E, ah, like say ah. Okay, so.
Nope.
All right, so we'll do that. And this is great for, let's see what's going on here. Great for the jump and kind of like smoothing things out, and one of our main goals of like really connecting with that laryngeal shift. And but most of my students really like this exercise, and they feel, you're not going for opera, okay, but they feel as close to a classical singer as they've ever been. And because it is a classical exercise, but it's awesome. Okay, so, well, it's classical and it's awesome, not but it's awesome. So but it gives you that connection point where you're never disconnecting the tone. Okay, you're keeping the airflow going, and you're keeping the vocal cord edges touching the whole time. There's no skipping, and I'll talk more about that as we do it, okay? Because it's a vocal slide, and then you'll see. Okay, so here's how it goes. Let me do it in my register. Don't be intimidated. Okay. So, all right. There's 3 parts. You can break it down into 3 parts. The first part, well, let me demonstrate it, then I'll break it down. Okay. So let me do that again because I messed up my piano playing. It's hard to play standing up. It's a totally different feel. Okay, so what I'm doing is the first thing is a jump on knee. And we're going to modify the vowel just a little bit. You want to put a little bit of that in there. So it still sounds like knee coming out. And but we do the entire jump on knee. And that's the place where you're saying don't disconnect on that jump. Okay? So I want you to practice it initially slowly. And you will feel where your larynx is shifting. Okay? And I've talked to you about going slowly over that place so that you can feel what's happening, let the change happen, feel how your breath interacts differently with the support and with the feel how the resonation changes below of it, and but let that shift happen and keep the tone going while the shift is happening. Okay, so go real slow at the beginning.
Is that an octave jump?
It's an octave jump.
Okay.
That's part 1. Part 2 I call The Little Mermaid. Did you ever see The Little Mermaid?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Remember how she would always go, oh.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. And then part 3 is just walking down step by step. Just
all the way back down.
And what you become aware of with that is you become aware of how you've been managing your breath. Because by the time you get to the end, you're trying not to be gasping.
Sure.
Like trying to shove the air out at the last note. So, all right, I'm trying to think of let's start you. Okay.
And then you just do after the first knee all the way up to the octave jump, and then it's the ahs for, and again, the middle section there, the Little Mermaid is, what are you doing there? Ah. And it's just or are we going up as well?
We're going up.
Okay.
So I just change to the
I
after
see.
my octave jump. Then I do my Little Mermaid, and the sound is never stopped, like the tone is never broken. Okay?
Yeah.
To demonstrate that flow, hold on. Okay, so once you switch to the you just stay in
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try you, and I can send you some accompaniment recordings for this.
Yes, that is definitely going to be required.
I think I may have already made them. I think I got on a roll.
Oh, good.
I'm going to make some more stuff for Bob because we're going to get there. Okay, so
knee.
So I'll go ahead and play, and I'm going to listen to you as I'm playing. Just sing along as you hear the tone coming through your speakers.
Knee. You're going lower?
Going lower.
I can't hear that piano switch.
It's not coming through. Okay,
No.
hold on. Let me put on my earbuds. Just a second. And I'll just say this too, like I'm teaching it to you in this pattern. This is actually, I learned this a million years ago from this international choral conductor, and have just used it ever since. It's just there's so many things I do with it. But almost every classical method has something like it, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, if you even approximate it, it's fine, right? So just think about the 3 steps. Just think, I'm going to do my octave jump on knee.
Right.
I wait till I'm at the top. I shift to an ah. I do my Little Mermaid, and I walk back down.
Yep.
All right. So if it takes on different shape or form, as long as you're getting your octave jump in there, you're not losing the connection of the tone. Keep your vocal cords. We haven't even talked about vocal production yet. So like how the voice is made, I keep saying, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. But you want the tone to stay connected.
Yep.
Wait a minute. I still have the wrong thing on. Just a second. I need to switch to. There we go. Okay. Hopefully this will help. Go away. All right. So as long as you just keep those principles in mind.
No, I think it'll be so helpful to have your recordings so I can follow.
Sure. You got it. Okay. So. Is it cutting out, or are you able to hear it better now?
I can hear it a little bit better.
Okay.
But boy,
I'll
this
send you
is a
a
tough one.
recording. What'd you say? Sorry.
This is tough. So yeah.
You got some skills to develop here, but it's great. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of control. You will grow in control, not like clamping down, letting all this be free, and but grow in becoming aware of your tone, staying connected, of how your breath supports you through that, because it's kind of a long phrase, right? And the coming down at the end really tests your air support, your breath support, because you're coming to the end of a breath most likely, and you don't want to end choking it out. And you and as we've discussed before, like anytime you're descending in pitch, you have to be, it's just like walking down a mountain. Your muscles have to support your body differently than you did when you were going up the mountain. Okay, so even going down the mountain, depending on how steep it is, can be more challenging than getting up the mountain.
Right.
To avoid, injury. You're not avoiding injury when you're singing down, but you just have to support differently, and you become more attuned to how you have to support,
right? How
you manage that laryngeal shift, how you let it happen, and then you kind of like, okay, this is like one of those where you try to use a metaphor to describe what's happening. It's physical what's happening. You're supporting it differently with your breath when you're coming down below the shift, but it feels almost like you're catching it and supporting it down gently. And it's like when you ever done an egg toss?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you see it coming. That's your head voice. You see the egg coming in the air, and then you catch it and you have to cradle it, right? It's kind of the same way. The way you support your tone with your breath as you're coming down, and it takes a tremendous amount of concentration and control that you will grow into. You're a practicer.
Yeah, I can definitely. I like that analogy, and yeah, send me some of those. I'll give them a whirl. But yeah, I can easily see where this is going to help tremendously.
Okay.
I like the octave jump too. That's really kind of nice.
Yeah. And feel free to this is one where my contemporary students and folk students, it's like, they kind of have an excuse to, in the shower, kind of turn on their opera. And you will learn a lot about your voice if you will let that go a little bit. Let it go, let it go. Right. Sing opera in the shower. Okay, so me.
And it feels like when I do that, the resonance seems like it's more in the front of the face.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. When you're singing,
it just feels, I don't know, closer to your nose or something.
When you're singing in your lower range, what no matter what genre, it's more, you feel it more in your mouth and neck. Anytime you're singing higher, you're bringing it forward in your that's where it's resonating. That's where it should be resonating.
Call it head voice, right?
Right. Yes, but there is a sense, I hear what you're saying. Like it feels like it's
that it comes.
It's not here.
Yeah. Right.
And if it is further back, then you start getting nasal resonance. It's jammed all up and people sing like that, like a group of witches singing. So that's not an ideal tone because it's very irritating to hear. But people can, men and women, you like bluegrass, don't you?
I do a little bluegrass, but I'm more old rock type and folk Americana stuff.
Got it. And that tends to be, folk Americana tends to be just right here in the speech area. Okay? Right. It's very, because you're telling stories, you're reflecting, but the whole song is written around the whole storytelling. It's not a huge range for the most part. In bluegrass, you have a lot of the harmony stuff going on, and you'll hear some of these male tenors just singing like all jammed up in their nose. I am the man of constant sorrow, right? Because they're able to do more with their voice. When you jam the tone up into the sinuses, then there's a little bit more there's a more availability and flexibility here, but it's a terrible sound. So it represents the fact that you have not learned, that the person has not learned to coordinate the diaphragm and the larynx, and hasn't learned how to have an open throat, open tone. You should always be able to sing with your nose pinched. If I was singing with it jammed into my nose, and I'll do it after I get into my head voice. Right?
Yeah.
It won't happen.
Right.
It doesn't work. So you always want to be able to test that out. So, right. But what I heard you doing a second ago when you were just kind of toying around with it was perfect. Okay. But you can always test yourself by going like this.
Yeah.
So that's a neat little trick for future reference. And if your friend starts singing all nasally, go, let me just put a flash on that. Boom. And then they'll hate you forever, but you'll stop them from doing it. Saving the world one nose at a time. Okay. Now, so let's put off the falling slowly one, even though I really like that song. And let's look at the Miranda Lambert song. So feel free to, the first thing you want to do with a song that you want to work on and use, either adding it to repertoire of any kind, whether that means your set list or your repertoire. Set list is, folk Americana rock terminology. Repertoire would be the classical. Is memorize it. Memorize the heck out of that thing. Get the words down so you're not thinking about them. Get the tune down so you're not thinking about it. So how far along would you say you are with that, just on the outset?
Still working on it, but I think I can get it's not that long, so it's like 3 verses and the chorus and one little bridge. So I feel fine with it.
Okay, good. So it's a nice, short, sweet song.
What I really like about it is when it hits the chorus, I can't even think of what the chorus is right now, but it's that shift. I think he starts more belting at that point, and it's a little higher. So
you're talking about Falling Slowly.
No, for the Miranda Lambert.
Okay. The
chorus comes in after maybe 2 verses.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see where that is at. To come back one last time, Ma'am, I know you don't know me from Adam, but these handprints on the front steps are mine. Up those stairs in that little back bedroom is where I did my homework. I learned to play guitar. And I bet you didn't know, under that live oak, my favorite dog is buried in the yard. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. Thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I'll swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me.
And that was an F?
Yeah.
Okay. So that doesn't sound to me like it's going to be the best key for you. What did I say? I haven't even talked about that. So I would try it at least up a third, if not a fifth. So maybe you might try it this week. See if you can find it in A or C. And play around with that with your voice. I think that's going to be a little better because right now you're singing down in your lower range, the lower part of your range, which isn't necessarily, it's not bad. It's an okay sound, but I think that you can't hear yourself as well as you would be able to hear, and it doesn't lend itself to the type of clarity of the storytelling sound that I think you'll have better when you are singing up around. The notes that you're singing are actually 1, 2, 3, F, G, A, B, and C, 3, okay, or C4. So what I have to do is, even though she's written it in F, so if this is the start chord, I don't even know what the start chord is, but if this is an F chord, if this is the start chord, how would you start singing it from there? Without listening.
Yeah, I'm blinking even on the lyrics right now.
Okay, no worries. But here's the thing.
Yep.
When a song is written in a certain key, that doesn't mean that you start the song on the tonic, which is the root of that key.
Yeah.
The root of that chord of that key. So she could have started, whatever. I don't know it well enough to really know. But a lot of times they don't start right on that.
I know they say, I know they say, I know they say you can't go home again. I know they say you can't go home again. I just had to come back one last time.
I know they say, okay. So you're actually on, I know they say, but you're singing, I know they say, ba, 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 which is why when you get to those low notes, you're really scooping down, you know, like it struggled to get to the very bottom notes.
So what am I starting at? So they say.
That's a C.
That's a C.
Yeah. And it's so she's
Home again.
so I would
Yeah.
if you did that, that would be easier. If you did it in C, I think that's your bet.
And
At least to try with. That's key of C.
what would the starting note be if it's in key of C?
G. Okay. I gotta roll out, but I would see if you can find it in C this week and try it on a start note of G.
Okay.
And play around with it. But, you know, don't just do the C, like find it in A if you can, and just find it in a number of different keys and see which one feels like and sounds like, if you're able to record yourself, it just sounds and feels better coming out.
Okay.
Okay. That's the thing. Yeah, that's fun. They're both really beautiful songs. I like them. If we end up doing that Falling Slowly one, I can harmonize with you.
Ooh, that'd be great.
That'd be fun. So I'm going to get you the Nia accompaniment.
That's great.
And you keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing the practicing. Add the octave jumps. And remember, you have permission to manage your laryngeal shift.
Okay, perfect.
Rent the t-shirt.
Right.
All right. Bob,
All right.
Good to see you.
Yep, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, sounds good.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.